But it depends. Like, you do have your flavors, and that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But, I do wish that the mainstream stuff was better, because I know that it can be. It's just seen better days, but the problem is the product is just it's just not what it used to be, because it either too much of it doesn't make any sense, or the booking is lazy, or
well, that's definitely for sure. I would say the booking is definitely.
I would say that's probably the worst thing, is that it just doesn't make any sense and that it's lazy. But on top of that, you have like 20 30 something writers and agents and all these people, and no matter what they do, like, first of all, that's too many. But second of all, no matter what they do, Vince has the final say, so they're really just writing the show that Vince wants at the end of the day, and he's only getting older and a little bit more senile or out of touch with certain things.
I think he's definitely out of touch, that's for sure.
So you have that problem, and they also have their own brand of comedy, and it's not good. It's
no. Well, I think the thing is that WWE kind of, Vince specifically, I want to say, kind of dwells too much on the past. They want to try to reclaim their former glory, and they do whatever they can to try to do that, and it always fails, like when they had the Attitude Era, which is like often lauded as the best era of WWE, right? It was the the best storylines, the best wrestlers, of that generation. Like, it was the best. And then you had the Ruthless Aggression Era, and all they tried to do throughout that whole thing was try to recapture the edginess of the Attitude Era, but it wasn't good writing, so it was
right. They just tried to turn it. They just tried to turn it up to 11 on, like, just all of like you said, the edginess and the violence.
Yeah. Like, it just got awkward and cringy, and then they went PG.
At points, it either became like. So it was either became like it never fell into like a just okay thing, the Ruthless Aggression stuff. It was either, oh, this is really great, or this is,
why is this on TV?
Yeah, it was never anything else.
Right.
There was never like that was just okay. There wasn't like, but there were too many things that became forgettable. But but I would say for every really great thing that they did, there was something equally bad.
Right. And it was weird because they would have good wrestling matches, but with really terrible storylines. Like,
yes.
Like the custody of Dominic ladder match
between
Eddie Guerrero and
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, like they could, like, if they wanted to do a ladder match.
They're great match, great technical wrestlers that work so great together
in
the ring. But the storyline is like, what were they thinking? Like,
yeah. Or the infamous Katie Vick storyline where,
oh my god,
we have two good wrestlers who are fighting over who are both the champions who are both champions. We're like, why can't, like, we need to see these people to fight for, like, to unify the belts, or to see if one guy is just going to get two belts, and for one belt or the other, or both, and for whatever reason, instead of just something coherent, we got a necrophilia angle that nobody asked for. But we got that. Like, I just don't understand. There were a lot of, like, but the match wasn't half bad, but the storyline terrible.
Yeah. And then you had the PG era, which they continued to try to, like, make it like the Attitude Era, except they couldn't do any of the edginess because it was PG. So it became, like, awkward and cringy and forgettable. I think in a lot of ways. I mean, the early PG era, besides, like, some of the, there was a couple highlights, obviously, like CM Punk, with the pipe bomb, and there's really not much. Maybe the advent of NXT, and like how that kind of, like, blew up. And
NXT was horrible in the beginning.
Yeah, but you look at how many of the, like,
once they actually figured out what they wanted to do, Like once they got away from the whole reality TV element of it, then it was
the reality TV thing.
Right. Once they started to actually make it a real show about, like a real wrestling show about the talent who was doing what they had trained to do all their lives, then it was good.
Yeah.
But it had a very bad beginning.
Yeah.
But all this stuff just kind of stems from WrestleMania. You know, this whole WWE style.